Paul, I think I need to learn how to say derivative ahead of Thursday.
Oh, I didn't notice. Sounded fine to me. Futures closeout.
Yeah.
I mean, only the, trader wonks have any interest in that, but it's always quite fun because of the heightened volumes that you see. And as we always say, we've got one old Scottish client who likes to phone us and put in what he calls cheeky bids on futures closeout, because sometimes you see these wild swings in specific stocks. Anyway.
So let's look at how the markets are trading right now. Dow opening on a positive note, 13,000 points.
Yes. So that 13,000 points has become like a kind of bogey level because we keep putting our heads through it and then falling back. You know, of course, that for many people, the Dow is a very irritating index because it's not weighted by capitalization of its constituents. It's weighted by the actual shares themselves. So some of the shares like Caterpillar and IBM have very high share prices and affect it unreasonably, and some of the bigger cap companies that don't necessarily have the required impact. But be that as it may, we're now above 13,000 again, but we're waiting for a proper solid close and move through that mark. The Nasdaq is also sitting at around 3,000. And the other interesting wrinkle is that if Apple were in the Dow, which it's not, we would be at much higher levels. Apple just knows no pause. It just trades higher and higher every day. Amazing.
Do you have any exposure to Apple?
Very heavily, in fact. So we manage client portfolios in New York, and it's with GE and Cisco, our three top holdings. So we're thrilled at the way it's been rising, and
I'm
hope
sure
for
you
many
are.
more.
So last time I spoke to you, you weren't joining the strike that took place, the anti-toll strike and of course anti-labor brokers strike.
Yes.
And now the latest is that tolling is going ahead.
Well, I saw Zwelin Vavi complaining on Twitter over the weekend that the newspapers weren't writing about how fabulous the strike had been. But you can see government is going ahead with the tolling thing, and it's going ahead with the labour broking thing as it currently is. So I'm not quite sure what he's complaining about. The tolling thing, of course, very controversial, but it looks as though government is dead intent on pressing ahead. What they're saying is if you don't have an e-tag, you won't be able to renew your license. But I seem to remember that's what they said about traffic fines. And plenty of people in Gauteng have unpaid traffic fines and go on renewing their licenses without any problems.
So the whole question, as always, is about administration, but
Exactly.
It's a £1,000 fine if you don't have a license or a renewed license. So that's something to keep in mind. We'll leave it at
Exactly.
that for today. Paul Theron, CEO of Vestac.